Now that we have understood about sodium metal and calcium metal and its reaction with water, now let's see how magnesium reacts with water. So what do we do now? Let's take some magnesium ribbon. A small piece of magnesium ribbon is taken and put it in the cold water. Okay, let's put it in a test tube which is having some cold water. Let's wait. Do you observe something here? No. Means what? There is no reaction. When we don't see anything happening, it means that there is no reaction. So magnesium does not react with cold water. So now let's heat it. Okay. So let's heat the water. So do you observe something? Correct. So you observe some small bubbles now. Slowly the bubbles are increasing. And what do we see? We see some change in the color. Is it not? Yes. So what happened here? So magnesium did not react with cold water, but it did react with the hot water. Is it not? Yes. So what happened here? Magnesium combined with the hot water and it formed magnesium hydroxide, and the bubbles what we observed was nothing but hydrogen gas which is released during the reaction. Got this point, students? Very good. So magnesium reacts with hot water to form magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen. Now let's move on to other next metal, that is aluminium. So just take a quick what we understood previously, that is about sodium reacted with cold water, calcium reacted with cold water, magnesium did not react with cold water. Let's check with aluminium here. So now let's take up aluminium, a small piece of aluminium strip, or it could be aluminium foil. We can take anything and put it in a test tube containing cold water. Let's wait for some time. Do you find anything here? Any change happening in the test tube? No. It means no reaction with cold water. So now let's heat it. So let's heat the water and wait. Do you observe anything? Any change in the test tube? No. No change. So aluminium doesn't even react with hot water. So what we should do now? Let's try with steam. Okay, a bit of more energy. Correct? So now let's take up aluminium here. Small bits of aluminium foil also we can take, or pieces of strips, aluminium strips, and we have some water here. So firstly, what do we do? Let's heat the aluminium pieces. Okay, now they will turn to red hot. Did you observe? Yes, it's a red hot aluminium. Now we are heating the water, and do you see bubbles here? Yes. So it means the water has changed to steam. So now the water or the steam and aluminium mixed, or they reacted. So what do you observe here? Very good. You observe bubbles. Correct? So you observe bubbles. So what it mean here? Exactly. There is reaction happening between aluminium and steam. Very good. So what can we understand from this? So aluminium combines with steam to give aluminium oxide, students. Keep it in mind, it's aluminium oxide, whereas previously the metals were forming hydroxides, but aluminium with steam is forming oxide. not hydroxide, and it is also giving out some hydrogen gas here. Keep this in mind. Now, similarly, like aluminium, iron and zinc also, they do not react with cold or hot water. They react only with steam and they form metal oxides and hydrogen. Okay, did you understand this point? Very good. So let's move on with the next part, that is, let's take up some copper fillings. Correct? So we are done with aluminium and now we are checking, or we are treating copper fillings with water and checking how much it reacts. So let's take up some copper fillings and put them in a test tube containing cold water. Okay, so do you observe anything happening inside the test tube here? No, no reaction. Yes, now let's heat the test tube. So the water is hot now. Now, are you observing anything here happening in the test tube? No. So copper is not reacting with hot water also. So let's check with steam now. Okay, so let's take some copper fillings, heat it. Now it's red hot. Now let's heat the water and change it to steam. Now steam and copper both are reacting. Now do you observe anything here? No, no bubbles. Just as we observed previously with aluminium, we are not finding any bubbles here. So what can we conclude? No reaction happens even with the steam. So what we can tell here is, not only copper, metals like gold, silver, lead, correct? So all these, they do not react with water in any form. Okay, so metals such as lead, copper, silver, gold, they do not react with water at all. So now that we have understood about few metals and their reaction or reactivity with water, so we can come to a conclusion of drawing some series, or we can rank them, correct? So the first reaction we did was potassium and sodium, isn't it? Yes. So they reacted very violently with cold water. Correct? So we could see immediate reaction. So it was a violent reaction. Next we did with calcium. So it did react with cold water, but it was not as violent as sodium and potassium. So we can rate it or rank it to next to potassium and sodium. Whereas magnesium, it did not react with cold water. So it reacted with which water? Yes, with hot water. So it comes next. Next we did aluminium, correct? It reacted with steam only. So we are ranking it next. Next, lastly what we did? Which one? Yes, copper and other metals like copper, gold, lead, silver, they did not react with water at all. Is it not? So they will be in the last in the series. Did you get this point, students? So this is the reactivity series we have come to when metals react with water. So now that we have understood about water, let's do similar kind of reactions with acid and see how the reactivity is. Okay, students? Good.